The only way out of the matrix-induced slavery is the real world. That's why it's called the real world. None of your dreams have come true. None. It is go time. It always has been. It always will be. It's perpetual. It's never ending. I will make sure everybody gets rich except for you. Except you. Everyone on the planet will have everything they desire except you.
Guys, we're all gonna be rich. Andrew Tate's The Real World 2.0 has officially launched. Sort of.
Across the next 90 days, the real world is changing. From the real world first generation into the real world 2.0, we're providing our students with brand new weapons to fight mediocrity, brand new swords that allow them to fight against poverty. Every single day, there will be a significant upgrade, and one of those upgrades has gone live only an hour ago. Ask yourself, what other piece of software are you in which is going to be upgrading every single day for the next 3 months with the sole intention of paying you money? You are running out of time to be a first-generation student. Your mother is getting old. Your dad is getting sick. You are running out of time to get rich. And if you are serious, if you're a professional, we are waiting for you inside of the real world.
As The Real World 2.0 launched, we could see Andrew being very vague about what most of these spectacular upgrades would be, as he had been in the lead up to the launch. But when the Tates started promoting The Real World 2.0 back in March, they were a lot more specific. So let me refresh everyone's memory on what the Tates initially promised with The Real World 2.0.
We're going to have banking involved for all American-based students of the real world. So you're going to have banking facilities inside of the product, as well as access to credit. There's going to be a job board. So not only are you going to be able to learn skills inside, you'll be able to get hired and advertise for staff inside of the school, and we have certification incoming. The only reason you went to university, the only reason you wasted 4.5 years of your life to learn things you could have learned online in a month is because you needed a certificate, a piece of paper. If we tell you that we can give you the same certification as any university on the planet for $50 a month, there is no reason for you not to join.
Can you imagine being a young, broke American? I'm sure some of you can, because I know some of you are. And being a member of our school and being offered a bank account with a credit card with a $1,000 limit.
We're going to make sure you have a certificate. So if you dedicate a few months inside of the Real World 2.0, you're going to leave with the same certificate that you would get in 4.5 years at a standardized university. We're not going to waste your time. As fast as you can work, we will give you the certification.
The Tate brothers, who struggle to open a bank account themselves, and haven't paid a cent of taxes in any jurisdiction since 2013, according to their tax evasion case in the UK, initially were saying months ago that they were going to provide all American-based students with bank accounts and credit cards with $1,000 limits. In the Real World 2.0, they said they were going to become accredited and be able to provide certificates, the equivalent of a bachelor's degree at an Ivy League university, for just a few months or a few years inside the Real World 2.0. This is what they initially promised, and we've seen none of this with the initial rollout of the Real World 2.0, and we haven't seen them mention this in any of the recent promotions. Not only that, but when they initially started promoting the Real World 2.0 in late March, early April, they told their fans that it would be launching with all of these features within a few weeks, and that the price of the Real World would raise when it does, so you had to join now in order to not miss out. They delivered none of these The Real World 2.0 features, raised the price to $99 a month briefly, and then dropped it back down to $49 a month. Following last week's version of the Real World 2.0 launch, I'm led to believe that nowhere near the amount of the Tate's fans signed up to the Real World for the Real World 2.0 launch compared to what the Tates wanted. I don't have access to this data, so I can only speculate, but I'll go over why I believe this is the case. First, there is this post from Andrew inside the Real World platform just after the Real World 2.0 so-called launch. You can see him screaming in all caps for his so-called students to upgrade to champions, join the council and get power level. He screams at them to upgrade every way they can inside the real world before the 2.0 rollout completes, and that this is their final warning. The champions, which Tate is screaming at his students to upgrade to, gives you 2 years worth of the real world membership in advance, a bonus of the coins you can earn inside the platform, a power level boost, and exclusive lessons and chat rooms with all the cool kids in the champions. It costs $1,680. As for the council that Andrew was screaming at his students to join, as of last year when I was inside the real world doing some research for some videos, it cost $1,997 to join the council. Nearly $2,000 to join another of the cool kids clubs inside Andrew Tate's alleged cult. So to be clear about what you are seeing in this message from Andrew inside the Real World platform, in the hours after the Real World 2.0 launch, which the Tates had been hyping up and urging their fans to sign up so they don't miss out on it, Andrew was inside the Real World platform screaming at their members to give them thousands of dollars. It doesn't exactly strike me as someone who is pleased with the amount of new members that they gained following the launch of a supposed new product. Yesterday, the Tates hosted one of their emergency meeting streams on Rumble, and this also left me with the feeling that they are thoroughly unimpressed with the amount of their fans who signed up to the Real World for the Real World 2.0 launch. Andrew could again be seen yelling and screaming at his fans, degrading them for not doing what he says after he told them to sign up to the Real World for the Real World 2.0 launch.
If I say you should do something and you believe in me, and you're watching me because you know I'm successful and smart, and you believe what I'm saying, you should pause the emergency meeting and instantly do it. Straight away. You shouldn't wait for the meeting to stop. You shouldn't take a piss. You shouldn't think about it. You shouldn't ask your friends. You shouldn't Google it. You should do it. Because if you do it, you are first. And if you are first, you win. Because God does not reward quitters. And he doesn't reward the slow. Because every day you delay is a day of life that you're going to experience without progression. It is go time. It always has been. It always will be. It's perpetual. It's never ending.
A true sign of a good salesperson, a good legitimate salesperson, is that they almost never seem desperate to make the sale. However, for Andrew Tate, using the word desperate to describe his methods of sales and marketing is the understatement of the century. Andrew was absolutely furious with his fans who haven't given him $50 to join the real world.
I was completely right. Nothing has changed. Nothing's changed. You're still in the same shit position you were then. You're still stuck somewhere in fucking Cincinnati. You ain't got any big booty QEs at all. None of your dreams have come true. None. In the most favorable administration that we all prayed for, nothing has changed. Stop praying to be saved. No one is going to rescue you. The only way out of the matrix-induced slavery is the real world. That's why it's called the real world. Nobody else is going to teach you how to make money. They're going to teach you how to be a slave to make them money.
The sad thing is that it seems like the irony is completely lost on Andrew when he tells his fans that nobody is going to teach them how to make money, they're going to teach them how to be a slave to make them money. During this stream, it appeared that Andrew had actually worked something out. He's learnt that the biggest thing stopping people from joining the real world is that they think about it and realize it's a stupid idea. So he's come up with a new message to combat this problem. He told his viewers that God does not reward people who think before they make a decision. Therefore, apparently, if they just don't think, switch off their brain and give Andrew Tate money, they will make God proud.
Because God does not reward quitters, and he doesn't reward the slow. You know, as counterintuitive as this may sound, God does not reward the thinkers. He rewards the action takers. It's the bell curve. The people who instantly take action without thinking do pretty good. A lot of stupid people get very rich by instantly taking action without thinking. Then you have the very smart people who take action and then think about the action they took. They think post-action. I'm going to take an action because I have to be first. Now let me think about what I've done. I've done something. So now let me think about how to make the most of the action I have taken. The people in the middle who are thinking about action only lose because they are never first. Thinking is slow.
Just brilliant stuff. For this next clip, I'm going to have to make sure that everyone understands what Tate means when he speaks of these power levels that he won't shut up about. The power level is a point system inside the real-world platform. It increases when someone logs in, completes tasks, and engages inside the platform. The power level of the students has been connected to many of Tate's broken promises. For example, Tate promised a crypto project called the Real World Token that would give every member inside the real world a percentage ownership of the real world platform that Tate said would make all of them rich. He said that the higher your power level was, the more of the real world token you would be allocated. Of course, still over a year later, the real world token doesn't exist. I believe the power level system is an element of the cult, designed to keep Tate's followers logged in for as long as possible, isolated from their friends and families, and under his control. Watch him in this recent emergency meeting demand that his so-called students increase their power levels, again yelling and screaming.
And what's very interesting is that some of these weapons, some of the things we're going to allow students to do are going to be heavily contingent on power level. Because I have been shouting at you forever. You need to get your power level up. Your power level is going to directly affect what you could do inside of the platform. I tried to explain this to you over and over and over again. Anybody who joins before August 15th in 4 days will be considered a first generation student. We will consider you having joined during the Real World 1.0. And you will have a permanent power level bonus for the rest of your life. If you act now, if you act first, if you join now, you get a power level bonus on your account for life. You're going to lose your youth. You're going to lose your energy. You're going to lose your chi. You're going to become an old man. You're going to sink into a chair. And you would have lived your entire life as a fucking joke. And if that doesn't motivate you to try, if that will not motivate you to do something simple like press buttons on a keyboard to get a power level which will affect the money in your bank, then you are born to lose.
After screaming at his fans to spend as much time as humanly possible inside his online platform to raise their power levels, Andrew went full abusive spouse on these kids, telling them that if they didn't give him money and join the real world, he was gonna make them regret it.
And you know what? Let me tell you something from the heart. If I tell you to do something and you don't do it, I get offended. Because you should fucking listen to me. Because I know what I'm talking about. So if I say to you, you need to be a first generation student or you're gonna regret it, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make sure you fucking regret it. I'm gonna do anything it takes. And how am I gonna get my revenge on you for your petulance, for your
Disobedience.
Your ignorance, for the fact that you refuse to believe in our platform and believe in me. The best way I can get that revenge is success. I will make sure all of the first generation students are massively successful. I will make sure our platform grows more powerful than ever before. I will make sure power levels more important than it's ever been. I will make sure everybody gets rich except for you. Except you. Everyone on the planet will have everything they desire except you. Because success is the best revenge. And the revenge is coming. For the same reason you need to be successful for everyone who didn't believe in you, I need to be successful for everyone who doesn't listen to me when I say you have until August 15th to be a first generation student before the Real World 2.0 comes out. And one way or another, I'm going to win.
What an unhinged, insecure clown. For a supposed billionaire or 100-millionaire, I've never seen anyone on social media more desperate for money. In my opinion, Andrew Tate is the most prolific scammer on social media today, and it is finally catching up with him. Fewer and fewer kids are falling for these schemes than ever before, and it is leaving him in just an absolute enraged mess. If anything funny comes from the fallout of this grift from the Tate brothers, I'll be sure to let you all know. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any updates. You can also support the channel by joining as a member, and a massive thank you to all of our members who make this content possible. I'll leave the link to join in the description, as well as the link to support our legal defense against the Tate brothers. For those that aren't aware, the two embarrassing clowns, Andrew and Tristan Tate, filed a frivolous lawsuit against myself and others, instead of being men and taking accountability for their own actions. Anyone who can make a donation towards our legal defense or share the link on their social medias will be much appreciated.